Started. We've got everyone in.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for Clayton County District's 4 monthly Saturday update to keep you all informed of what's going on in our community and how we're moving forward. We've got a packed agenda for today to get through. Want to make sure that we're getting a lot of information out to the citizens that's needed, but also letting folks know about our progression and where we're going. I'll give you just kind of a quick update of some of the items that we have and what we're doing. One, we still have to be diligent about this COVID and let you understand that it is real. Our testing has gone up 51% over the last 2 weeks. So we need to be diligent in wearing our masks and doing those. But just to let you understand, we still do have mandatory mask wearing here in the county at all government buildings. So please, let's be mindful and considerate of where we are and those around us. We still also have our drive-through COVID testing available at the Department of Health on Battle Creek Monday. I believe it's Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. So if anyone that's feeling under the weather or have anyone in their home feeling under the weather, I can't talk, under the weather, let's please get to those. Judge Melton has also extended the courts through January 9th. So they will be operating on a schedule that is less than what they usually operate on. What else do we have here? Terra Blitz. We had a good Terra Blitz on December 2nd and 3rd. We had code enforcement going from 1941 from the Upper Riverdale Road all the way down to 138. We had 28 signs pulled and wrote 18 violations. So we are really trying to get in there and clean that area up. So we want to thank Ward Nelson for all his efforts on that. Even during this COVID, we can report with some good news. Our unemployment rate has dropped here in Clayton County. It's gone from 11.9 to 7.2. So that's a great thing that we have. We still got to keep moving to keep our small businesses open and keep them moving forward. We do have some, and Troy Stubbs will go further into that when we get to Parks and Rec, talking about the NASA building, Lakes Spivey Recreation Center, the status of those, which is moving along positively, the VIP complex. And the last thing is our recycling center has reopened and is open Monday to Saturdays from 9 to 5. So I know we've gone through that kind of quick, but I want to just put that in there. And let's get it going. Is Representative Bruneau on the line? I don't know if she's here yet.
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. How is everybody doing?
Well, you want to speak to the elections and our upcoming sessions and some of the legislation that will impact Clayton County?
Yes. First of all, I want to thank everybody that did go out and vote. Clayton County was the county that turned Georgia blue. We went from being just mentioned as part of the metro area. Then they actually said Clayton County, and then the next thing they knew, they had a map and they were pointing. So Clayton County plays an important role in the upcoming election. So on Monday, December 14th is the first day of early voting, or you can also request an absentee ballot. I know a lot of emphasis has been put on the Senate race. However, there is a statewide race for the Public Service Commission runoff. And so you'll be voting for that also. And so just so everybody knows, the Georgia Public Service Commission is a 5-member commission who was elected statewide to serve 6 terms. The commissioners are responsible for determining how much Georgians should pay for their utilities, such as electricity, telephone, and gas. And at this moment, all 5, right now they have 5 commissioners. So the candidates that are running are, the incumbent is Lauren McDonald, and the person running against him, the Democrat, is Daniel Blackman. So we'll have three things that we'll be voting on during this runoff. I also want to give a special thanks to our elections department, because I think I was trying to count. I think they've had almost 6, maybe 7 major elections, and also with all the recounting. So we certainly want to thank them for all their hard work, because they have done an excellent job of making sure that all of our records and everything are accurate and it turned in on time. If you want to know why you should vote in the Georgia Senate runoff, it will make a difference if you're unemployed, your small business is going under, you're facing being evicted or tired of not having the COVID leadership and other funding issues being resolved, then you need to vote in the upcoming Senate runoff. The House has passed several pieces of legislation. However, they have been stalled in the Senate. And so this is our opportunity to make a change, and that change will be better for Clayton County. So we are really encouraging everybody to let's do it again and let's go out and vote. Some of the issues that are going to be coming up in the session, we go back on we are constitutionally bound to go back to second Monday in January. The things that are going to really be hot topics are going to be redistricting. They will be redrawing the lines because of that's why the census was so important, because they will start to redraw the lines. I don't think they'll do anything before next year, but we will be talking about it. They don't have to have their count in, I think, until July, I heard them say. The next thing that's going to be talking about, we'll still be talking about COVID. It's not going to go away. And so talking about, when we're going to get the shots. And as Commissioner Davis said, we still have to wear our masks, wash our hands, socially distance, all those things. They're not going to go away even if you get vaccinated. And then, of course, voting. Voting is a big issue now in Georgia. Who would have thought Georgia would carry such an important role? And so when those machines were I have gotten I get at least 500 emails asking for a special session. Democrats can't call for a special session. The governor can call, or the speaker or the lieutenant governor. Neither are interested in doing that. And so now on Thursday, I was on a call for like about 5 hours, because I serve on governmental affairs, talking about the election. And I did have to put my house on watch because of that, because they're not sure, what's going to happen, because several of our the senators and representatives have been threatened because of the election and everything that's going on with it. So those Dominion machines, we just bought those machines. And so now nobody's happy with them all of a sudden. So that's going to be a big issue. But, that was a large budget item. I don't see us rebuying any more voting machines. They may have to do something else with them. In terms of so that's going to be one of the things the speaker has announced, is that he wants the Secretary of State now to be an appointed position by the governor. So that's a piece of legislation we'll be watching to see if he actually does put that out. In terms of Clayton County, we don't have anything. We do have the one piece of legislation and I see that the chairwoman, Ms. Goree, is here, so that the school board members can give themselves a raise if they deem to do so. Other than that, there's no other real pressing legislation right now for the county. One of the biggest things are that we will also be working on, we're forming a group to work on the mental health issues. I don't know if you all have noticed, but it seems as if people are dropping individuals off in our county. We've had several instances where we've had to call the police or find out where they belong. And so we know one of the issues is that we don't have enough beds. We do have the money, from what I understand, to build a center, but we're going to have to really work hard to get money from the state to be able to make sure we have the employees there, psychiatrists, and all those things that they may need. So we're going to collaborate our efforts this week and start to work on the mental health issues in our county. So that's probably the biggest thing that we'll be working together on as a delegation. We will have a forum right before we go back in session And so that's my report. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Representative Bernal? Okay, well, thank you for that update, but why you said something that I forgot to touch on. And I want to give big kudos to both our chiefs, Chief Roberts and Chief Murkison, because the tasks that they do behind the scenes are tremendous and of great value to our county. One of the efforts that Chief Murkison has just implemented is hopefully by January 1st, we'll be the only government in the metro Atlanta area to possess a negative 70 degrees Celsius freezer. And that is good with this COVID vaccine being put out there. Right now, we have a negative 20 degrees Celsius freezer, but to get that freezer in place puts us, really on the cutting edge of doing a whole lot here. So I don't see Chief Murkison on the call, but Chief Roberts, I want to say thank you and thank both these departments for what you all do for our community. What else do we have next? We got Mr. Troy Hodges that's going to come on and talk about what's going on with our Parks and Recs Center and how we're moving with our SPLOST dollars through the International Beach and some other activities. Troy.
Yes, this is Troy Stubbs. I'm actually filling in for Troy Hodges. But like you mentioned, Commissioner, the Nassau building update, it has been totally demolished. Everything is on schedule to be completed by June. And moving along with the VIP complex, everything has been, the update on there, we picked the colors, we picked flooring, everything has been gutted out of the VIP complex, and everything is on schedule for that as well to be completed in the next couple months. The Lake Spivey Recreation Center, it's pretty much everything is complete. We're looking at probably opening up that recreation center probably in the next 8 to 10 days, and then doing a grand opening sometime in January. The amphitheater, everything, the RFP, all of our information has been submitted. It should be going out any day now to get some proposals out there for the remodel of the amphitheater. And hopefully by towards the end of the summer, we should have amphitheater completed and hopefully get some concerts in there. A little update on our bark parks. Both bark parks at Gerald Matthews Complex and International Park are up and running, open. Had a lot of good comments, and citizens are very happy with what we have going with our bark parks. If we move to the athletics, due to COVID and things like that, we're still modifying some of our athletic sports. So our sport that's kind of going up right now is our basketball that we're about to get started in registration. We're modifying it to a 3-on-3 season this year. So it won't be 5-on-5 like traditional basketball seasons, but we're modifying it to 3-on-3. And we've had a lot of comments, and people are interested in still wanting to do some basketball. And due to COVID, that's the kind of direction we're going in to make sure everybody's safe. And then with our trails, we're looking at expanding from International Park still through the city of Jonesboro, and then also moving into the city of Riverdale area and expanding our trails. If that's pretty much the update I have on everything that's going on with Parks and Recreation right now, unless you think of anything else that you want me to touch base on.
No, we've got the gist of it. What we do want to put out there, we've gotten some complaints, and I know you have too as well, Troy, that we really want to, at these dog parks, be aggressive and proactive in cleaning up after our animals so that we can keep the park looking nice for those that follow. So if we can just begin to do that, that would be great. That'd be great. Also, too, I have another point for our county, and this is good leading up to our schools, because we've got to put out our own good information, because if we don't, folks are going to begin to tell stories on us, as I heard in the barbershop yesterday. But Southern Regional Hospital has been named by Georgia Trend Magazine for 2020 as one of the top, they rank third in the state as far as hospitals. So that's a big feather in our hat, and we need to be proud of what Southern Regional is doing. They get a lot of bad press and bad pub, but they are now ranked by the Georgia Trend magazine to be third in the state when it comes to hospital and care. So let's begin to remind folks of that and spread that word. And speaking of organizations that do get sometimes the untruth thrown at them, let's welcome Ms. Goree to tell us about what's going on with our schools. And Ms. Goree is District 3, correct?
That is correct. And I'm also a proud employee of the Clayton County Parks and Recreation Department. And it is second to none. And I want to give kudos to our Assistant Director, Troy Stubbs, who is an excellent administrator. And nobody can even touch what's going on with Parks and Rec in Clayton County.
Well, we thank you. So tell us about our schools.
Well, okay. Good morning. As Commissioner Davis says, I am Jessie Goree, District 3, proud chair of the Clayton County Board of Education, and honored to be here this morning to present. While everyone has said that 2020 has been a horrible year, I think 2020 has exemplified perfectness in what it would if you're getting your eyes tested in Clayton County Public Schools. While it's been rough for everyone else, I want to say that Clayton County Public Schools, of course, we didn't think that we thought we would start off in our buildings, but we started the school year off with a comprehensive reopening plan for our district. We focused on three things. We focused on using scientific data because we knew we were dealing with a pandemic. We ensured that teaching and learning would occur, and it would happen in a great way for our parents and our students. And we wanted to address the social emotional needs of our students, staff, and community, because we know that we have been on lockdown, and we really needed that social engagement piece. But since we're this is District 4, I want to give you some good things about District 4, but going back to our looking at data to opening the school. Of course, everyone knows that we are a virtual school district, and we've almost been 100% virtual. We have had to have students come in our buildings for testing twice this year. We're currently doing end of course tests. We did not want our students to come into the building. However, as Representative Bruneau talked about, the election is very important that you put the right people in these seats, because the State Board of Education, the state superintendent recommended that with end of course testing, that it only count as less than 1% of the grade. However, because the State Board of Education is appointed by the governor, those people wanted to adhere to what was going on in Washington and still insist that we have high stakes testing in the midst of a pandemic. So therefore, we had to have our students come in for end of course testing this week. It has gone along very well. We have provided transportation, we provided breakfast and lunch, and we've actually gotten some really good reviews from our parents who were very apprehensive about sending their students into the schools. So that is going along very well. But I want to get back to District 4 and let you know about the good things that are going on. First of all, Clayton County Public Schools just received our graduation rates, which are now at 76.6%, which is a 3.9% increase. But I want to point out the schools in District 4, elite scholars, 100% graduation rate. Jonesboro High School, 74.7, which is a 1.4 increase. Stillwell, 99.3, actually had a decrease, came down just a little bit. The Perry Center, which is an alternative school, increased up to 50%. So it has had a tremendous increase, almost a 15% increase. And also Mount Zion is one of the District 4 schools. It went up to 87.9, which is a 1.6 increase, and Riverdale High School, which had an 86.5 graduation rate, and that's an increase of 3.2. Again, District 4. Stillwell High School is a national blue ribbon high school, and Principal Michael Robinson was just named the recipient of the Terrell H. Bell Award for Outstanding School Leadership. Only 10 people nationwide were given that honor. And one of District's 4 resident, Dr. Shanice Radcliffe, who is the principal of Oliver Elementary School, was recently bestowed the honor of being named one of the top outstanding principals from the Georgia PTA. So as you can see, we're doing great things. As I said, we started the year out virtually in a pandemic. And I want to just salute my colleagues on the Clayton County Board of Education and Superintendent Maurice J. Beasley for planning, because on our last SPLOS, we planned to buy technology for all of our students so that all of our students would have a Chromebook. And little did we know that when March 13th of 2020 came, that we would need those Chromebooks. So we started off the school year deploying devices for every single one of our students. So everyone has a Chromebook. And I want to thank the citizens of Clayton County, because some of those households didn't have connectivity to the internet. And Dr. Beasley rejuvenated our foundation, and with donations and support from everyone in Clayton County, we have been able to make sure that every student in Clayton County has connectivity. And Commissioner Davis also wanted me to speak on our meals. I want to let you know that since we closed our schools in March, Clayton County Public Schools has continued to provide meals for our students and our community. We have served over 3 million meals from March 2020 through December 2020. We have 227 bus routes and 60 curbside sites that cover the entire county on a daily basis. We have decided that we will not go out daily. Now we are trying to protect our employees with the COVID numbers rising. So now we're down to 3 days a week. So on Mondays, we give 2 meals. We double up the meals for Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, that's Wednesday, Thursday. And then on Friday, we also give meals, and also we have partnerships with the Atlanta Community Food Bank. So over Christmas, the winter break, I should say, holidays, we will have enhanced meal service for our families. And I think that's pretty much everything that you wanted me to cover, Commissioner Davis, but just want to let you all know that good things are happening, and we love the partnership that we have with with the commissioners. And I want to give a shout out to Chief Roberts as well. And because the other day I had to call him up in regards to a incident that happened with one of our students. And I just want to let you know that I'm so glad that he always answers my phone call, and he has continued, just like Chairman Turner, because I think I first met Chairman Turner in regards to an incident over here in Riverdale, and I told him I needed his phone number. And he, how y'all have these company phone numbers that you don't answer. But I said, no, I want a phone that you're going to give me, that when I call you, that you're going to answer the phone. So Chairman Turner did that when he was the police chief. And Chief Roberts has done the same thing. When I call, he will pick up the phone, and that's greatly appreciated. So I thank you all so much. And I'm so proud of Clayton County and the fact that we did turn Georgia blue. And one other thing, I will point out that Clayton County Public Schools is, we're going to continue the race, and we have registered our high school students that are able to register to vote since it was extended. And I see Nicole Horn on the call, and I want to thank her because we partnered along with the commission, with the Youth Commission earlier, to do a drive-by voter registration along with my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta. And I just love this cooperative effort that we have in Clayton County and want us to continue. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask.
Any questions to Chairperson Goree? And Ms. Goree, I want to say happy belated 26th birthday.
Oh, thank you. One other thing I will say to you all, that we will continue to be virtual once we have 5 more days of school, and we will continue to be virtual when we come back in January. We will re-examine, whether we'll ever be face-to-face. We would love to be face-to-face, but we see that we have this spike after Thanksgiving, and we figure it will be one after Christmas. But always keep in mind, we can't satisfy everybody, but Clayton County Public Schools will do what's best for Clayton. We're not looking at the surrounding counties. We have to do what's best for our county, and we do appreciate everyone's support, and hopefully we can get face-to-face soon. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And, it's been a collaboration with all, but we love to see when that graduation rate is really exceeding the state, and I guess in many national averages. So we commend you, Dr. Beasley, and the whole Board of Education for what you all are doing in your leadership. So thank you very much. Next, and I'm going to have a bone. Now, Chief, you've been getting a lot of praises on this call, but I kind of have a bone to pick, and I'm going to pick it publicly, because you have taken away my sector captains, and now you're taking away another one that does one heck of a great job. So I'm gonna let you address, and Captain Turnipseed, you come on for one of your last calls with me.
But I'll say this, Commissioner, before I respond to your comments, let me say this. It is refreshing to be on a call where we hear from Representative Bruno about the great things Clayton County citizens did to help turn Georgia blue, and then to follow up with the great words from Ms. Goree in reference to what Clayton County Public Schools are doing as far as advancing with our graduation rates and making our young folk just the most intelligent citizens to lead us in the future. And then I'm gonna hit you with Clayton County Police Department and law enforcement in Clayton County continues to push crime down for a 3rd consecutive year as we approach the 4th quarter of the year, with our overall crime trending towards a decrease in 22% overall. That's good talking points that you don't get on channel 2, 5, 46, or 11. To your point, we have to preach the gospel of the greatness of Clayton County, and we're doing great things here. Now, with that said, to accomplish those great tasks, you have to have great people. You have a great sector commander in Captain Jody Turnipseed. She's done a great job, but I don't know if you've noticed, we're losing a lot of our greatness to retirement, which is demanding that I reallocate some folks with some special skill sets. And the captain has done a great job. And with that, I would pivot to her to explain what's going on specifically in your district in the way of crime and quality of life. And then she can bring on her new replacement, Captain Gary Flynn. With that, Captain Turnipseed.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning?
Good morning.
Not standing, some other off the what the chief's in reference, are decreasing from 22% overall. And we're looking at crimes against property is down 27%. Clayton County as a whole around the metro area has tremendous strides across all the other counties.
Is she with us? She's breaking up a little bit.
I think the captain's connection is a little bit challenged, but she mirrored what I was saying. And let me add this, as we move into this holiday season, it's most important that our citizens remain aware of what I've seen as a part of our weekly crime meetings. We are seeing an increase in thefts, especially from vehicles and packages. I encourage everyone to be vigilant. Remove all those items from your cars, keep them out of sight. Track your packages. When they hit your doorstep, you need to be going to get them, because we have folks canvassing these neighborhoods, pulling on car doors, and they're looking for crimes of opportunity. It's a quick in and out. Regardless of whether you have your camera system or not, they're ignoring cameras. Some of them are gloved up, and of course, we're in a pandemic, they're masked up. So the best thing we can do to protect our property and ourselves, because there are a lot of guns being stolen out of vehicles during this time period, also secure your valuables, hide them out of sight. If you move out to go shopping, especially ladies, if you want to secure your purse, don't do it in the parking lot or where you're shopping. it's good to secure it in the trunk before you leave the house, put what you need in your pocket, and then do your shopping. And when you get back to your residence, remove your purse from the trunk or wherever you're going to secure it, because we have people that canvass parking lots just to watch to see where you put your valuables in your car if you're moving to go shop, and then you come back and you wonder why someone's broken into your car. It's because they've either watched you secure your purse or your valuables, or you left them out available for them to see. So let's keep our cars clean, secure our property, lock doors, and we'll continue to trend in the right direction. Captain Gary Flynn is on the screen. I'm gonna have you make your mic hot, Captain. Tell them a little bit about yourself, as they will be seeing a lot more of you for the last couple of years. He's been my internal affairs commander and working behind the scenes, and now we're bringing him up front, and he's going to do a great job. Captain?
Hey, good morning. Thank you, Chief. First, thanks to Chief Roberts for the opportunity. This is something that I actually have looked forward to. I've been with Clayton County about 23 years. I've worked the uniform division for 19 and a half prior to going to be the evidence custodian, and then ultimately working directly for Chief Roberts as the internal affairs commander. I feel like I do have the opportunity to have kind of a finger on the pulse of what's going on within the precincts, as I have been the investigator. So some of the issues that we've had internally, I think I have a pretty good grasp on those. And I think that will also relate to being able to assist the citizens to have a better response from the officers, and how the officers deal with the public themselves. I am very well versed in Clayton County. Like I said, I worked for 19 and a half straight years from being a basic patrolman all the way through being a lieutenant, where I was on the road, and I was involved in many of the high priority, high profile things that have happened in the county. So I look forward to the opportunity to use my knowledge and experience to assist the continued reduction of the crime rate. And there's Captain Turnipseed just popped up on the scene.
Hi, sorry about that. Unfortunately, I live out in the country and have very, very bad internet reception and everything. So obviously the chief stepped in for me, saved the day, introduced the new upcoming captain, Gary Flynn. So I appreciate that, Chief. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and touch on some of the things that are going on in Sector 4. I know the chief, as he cut out on me, was mentioning that crime as a whole in the county is down 22%. Crimes against property is also down 27% throughout the county. Robbery is down, rape is down 37%. Robbery is down 25%. Aggravated assault is up 31%, and I'm going to relate that to domestic violence related issues due to people being tied up in the house together with the pandemic and everything going on. Burglary, amazingly, is down 59%, theft down 16%, and vehicle theft down 24%. One of the things that I want to commend the chief on is every year that we actually do a crime suppression detail. And this year we've got about 30 of our officers assisting from multi-task force within the department, uniform patrol, gang unit, narcotics divisions, and everything else. So I want to commend them for an outstanding job. The first week, which was last week, the week after Thanksgiving, they wound up having 60 arrests, 33 felony arrests, 27 misdemeanor arrests. As far as drug seizures, they had 27 grams of cocaine, 1,244 grams of marijuana, 365 grams of THC edibles, which are going to be your gummies and things of that nature, 13 grams of THC oil, 25 grams of crack cocaine, 1,456 grams of meth, which is basically a little over a kilo of meth, 538 grams of MDMA, which is ecstasy or Molly, 12 Molly pills, 56 prescription pills, 3 jars of THC moon rocks. They've executed 6 search warrants, and seized 10 firearms in 1 week. That is all commuted as in 1 week's work. So they're doing an outstanding job in reference to this holiday detail crime suppression that they're doing. So I want to commend them for the job they're doing. And Sector 4 as a whole, I don't know if the chart is up for Sector 4 on y'all's end, but on Sector 4, I want to commend our guys or our officers and everything out here. One of the things that I want to commend them on is just their response times. If you can see on priority 1 calls, they have a response time of 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Priority 2, minutes and 39 seconds, and priority 3 is 6 minutes and 14 seconds, which is an outstanding job nationwide, and average response times probably around the 11-minute mark. So we're doing an outstanding job there. While I was reviewing the stats this past week, one of the things that I've seen is we had 6 cars stolen out of Sector 4. 3 of those were crimes that could have been prevented, where vehicles were being warmed up and everything first thing in the morning, and someone utilized that as a crime opportunity and taking a vehicle that's already running. So I just want to put a reminder out there for you. Please, please, please don't make yourself a victim. If you're going to be warming your vehicle up, make sure that you are outside with the vehicle. I know it kind of defeats the purpose, but I know we have to defog windows and things of that nature, but let's not make ourselves a victim. Also, with your packages being delivered with the holiday season, I want to make sure that, if at all possible, request a signature. So your package isn't just being left randomly at the door. And that way, a lot of times what people do is they'll actually follow in behind the UPS or the FedEx truck and then look for someone to be a victim. And they'll just basically go get the package. If no one comes out within a minute or two, they'll actually go just grab the package and take off. The Ring camera footages that you guys are providing is outstanding. Please keep that up. It helps us out tremendously. And everything. So outside of that, it has been absolutely wonderful working for y'all or with y'all. And I will be, as the chief said, I'll be going back to animal control and everything. So I'll still be with the county, just working in a different avenue again. And
Great.
Like I said, it's been a pleasure.
One other thing, Captain Turnipseed, and thank you for your service to this community in this aspect. We'd gotten a call about the police report. And how certain HOAs want to see it in a little different format. Can you speak to that and why we have it in this format?
Yes, sir. Basically, we are transparent with our information and things of that nature. Some of the requests that I have gotten are for they want specific addresses and things of that nature. That's something that we cannot do unless an open records request is filed. I know that they provided a copy of how Henry County reports their documentation to their citizens, but we can't just automatically give case numbers and addresses specifically. If you request information in reference to a specific neighborhood, we don't have a problem giving you the stats of what's going on in that specific neighborhood individually, but we can't give the specific addresses or case numbers and things of that nature unless an open records request is provided. But I think that the stats that the chief has set up and established on the PowerPoint slide that is attached, and I think y'all are going to be making that readily available for everyone, that tells what our stats are across the board, and everything. So it's a tremendous help.
Great. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But also, too, Chief, are we not also losing our other sector commander? Captain Romero.
Well, it's a good thing. Yes, you will be losing Captain Romero, and he will be ascending to the rank of major and being assigned over the administrative division. His replacement, I don't think is on here yet, but Lieutenant Michael Green will be promoted to the rank of captain and assuming Captain Romero's vacated spot. But all of this is good is because they are exceptional employees and their skill sets demand that they be reassigned where the greatest need is. but the citizens of the county will not suffer any lack in service with their replacements. They are well prepared to assume those duties and carry on the standards set before them.
Great.
And
Well,
now let me add this too in closing, Commissioner. At the beginning of 2021, I always like to start the year off with a meeting with all of our neighborhood watch presidents and HOA presidents. At that time is when I like to introduce all of the new commanders in their new assignments, as we will have a lot of turnover because we have many retirements occurring this month on Christmas.
Okay, great. Well, and just let us know so we can put that date out there. But also, Captain Flynn, if you can put your contact information in the chat so that everybody can begin to have that available to them if they're going to need it, that'd be appreciative.
Okay, I will take care of that right now, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next, this is a very trying time, especially here in Clayton County with this COVID season. Folks are losing jobs. Fortunately, our unemployment rate has gone down, but we wanted to bring on Ms. Akila Ford from Community Development and Urban Development to begin to discuss what's going on, some of the resources that are available to us, and how to begin to contact the whole process of going forward. So, Ms. Ford, thank you for coming on.
Good morning, Commissioner. Thank you for having me. Again, my name is Akila Ford. I am with Clayton County Hub Programs Division, Community Development Department. I was recently transferred from Clayton County Extension Service, overseeing the Direct Housing Services Unit. As we all know, of course, the pandemic has impacted our Clayton County citizens in various ways, from job reductions to loss of employment to health issues that have reached staggering numbers. And so Clayton County Hub Programs Division, we have applied for COVID CARES funding, and it has been received. And so as a result of that, we are providing rental and mortgage assistance along with utility assistance to those individuals who have been significantly impacted by COVID. We are currently right now with in stage one, where stage one, we are paying up to 3 months of rental assistance as well as utility assistance. We will be receiving an additional funding coming forward that will allow us to increase that to up to 6 months. Now, I do just want to state that we have not received that funding as of yet. We are still working on phase one funding, which will allow us to pay up to 3 months. We do have an extensive waiting list. As you know, the moratorium is going to be lifted on December the 31st, as far as evictions are concerned. And so there has been a significant increase in calls and emails, and we have accepted those individuals. My staff and I, we have strategically met to devise a plan as to how we're going to reach everyone, to make sure that we are contacting everyone within 24 hours. We're getting them on the list, and we are aggressively working that list and ensuring that we are providing the assistance. I will be meeting with Ms. Boswell this week, actually Monday, and we're going to devise a plan to talk about a strategic eviction to try to get with individuals who have been already served eviction notices, and possibly getting with their property management companies and landlords to discuss how we can negotiate and try to make sure that those individuals aren't evicted after December the 31st.
I'm sorry. How do they begin to contact you and that department if they have issues?
So our direct number is 770-210-5208, and I can put it in the chat.
Right.
Anyone can contact me directly. I do have a county cell phone. I've been answering that 24/7. If anyone calls, I'm making sure that I get in contact with them. I'm making sure that we educate them on the process, that they can file a declaration, the CDC's declaration, that will also stop the eviction once they filed. Of course, that is up until December the 31st.
Right.
But we are continuing to educate our citizens on the process. We also are making sure that they are not being a victim of anything illegal or want to make sure that their property managers are doing things in the right way. So we have a little bit of education on fair housing laws as well. So,
Great. And if you could put that email address out there as well, and
Yes,
I
sir.
think that would be something, and Chairperson Goree, correct me if I'm wrong, that might be of great asset to you and to your students as well. Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Ford? None? Oh, so we're gonna get hit at the end here, okay. Next, we've had some pedestrian issues going on, and we have our smart pedestrian planning. And we want to bring on Nicole Horn to begin to speak on this program that we're putting forth and the progress that's going on. Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, good morning. How's everyone?
Good,
Ac-
good.
Actually, I'm doing this project in conjunction with Jason Brookins, our IT director, as well as Keith Rollins, our Assistant Director of Transportation and Development. And I'm going to kick it to Jason so he can run through the PowerPoint for us this morning, Commissioner, if that's okay.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Commissioner, thank you for the opportunity to speak to your constituents today. So what we have is the Clayton County Smart Pedestrian Planning Project. The county submitted a proposal to Georgia Tech and ARC for it was a competition with other city and municipal governments throughout the state of Georgia. And so the county was awarded this opportunity for us to start building a smart pedestrian decision tool. So what we have is, it's the actually development of a tool. So we're working with the researchers from Georgia Tech and as Nicole said, some internal staff to develop a system in which we will use that will become part of our decision-making processes as to where the county will install new sidewalks or develop new sidewalks or enhance existing sidewalks throughout the county. So what this is, one of the important things that we wanted to stress is that this is not a commitment of funding for sidewalks. It is not a commitment of this is where the sidewalk is going to be. This is a way that the county can enhance the decisions that we make. And so this is just part of what we take into account when the county decides where and when to invest its sidewalk infrastructure dollars. And so the basics around it is that we will use this information, and I'll get into what we're going to be doing in just a second, but we'll use this information to take into account other things. So anything you want to add to that, Nicole?
No, we're good right there.
Okay. So what's the benefits of a sidewalk? It's pretty self-explanatory, but there's some that we wanted to stress. So economic development, increasing foot traffic and actually enhancing some of our existing commercial and residential corridors in the county. It also increases property values. Believe it or not, actually the existence of a sidewalk in your subdivision or your area increases how much your property is valued at. The Georgia Tech researchers that we've worked with is doing this very similar study with the city of Atlanta and several other jurisdictions within Fulton County to assess how much of a value sidewalks add to neighborhoods. And so they're in the middle of gathering this information. So obviously they haven't shared the results with us yet, but it's just another way that this public infrastructure increases private property values. It also increases safety and mobility. And so this caters to the children, senior citizens, and people with disabilities, but it also gets people out. And so what it does is promotes health and wellness in the county by making it easier to walk. And so when you can get out and you can exercise without fear of danger, I mean, from vehicles, running on the roads or walking on the roads, then you'll get out and do it more. And then the last thing it does is it promotes community cohesion by just having people out in the neighborhoods and out interacting with each other. So this project, it's a year-long project. It kicked off in October of this year, and we are currently in the stakeholder outreach portion of the project. But this project, as Nicole said, our county COO, Dietrich Stanford, is our project sponsor. I am the project lead. Nicole Horn is our youth services administrator, and she is also in charge of our engagement. And so we are working with not just Clayton County, but we have partnered with the cities as well, and the Rotary Club of Clayton County Lake Spivey to be a part of this as well. And so these are ways for us to further engage the community, whether it's through city council presentations, meeting with HOAs, and however, meeting with the Rotary Club and kind of that outreach there. Also on Clayton County's team is our Assistant Director of Transportation and Development, Mr. Keith Rowling. And then the Clayton County, our multiple departments have 3 or 4 GIS team members that we will engage and bring in, and they will actually be doing a lot of the work. On the Georgia Tech researcher side, our lead researcher is Dr. Arthi Rao, and she is assisted by Dr. Randy Gunsler and Dr. Catherine Ross. Arthi and Randy, we have been on multiple calls. We actually just had a fantastic call with the school system yesterday about student involvement that we'll talk about in just a second. And Nicole, when we get to this, if you want to add anything to it, please do. So what are we doing? So we're trying to engage the community. And so we're doing the stakeholder engagement sessions throughout the county with multiple districts. Obviously, today is Commissioner Davis's district. We did Commissioner Franklin Warner's last weekend. We talked with the city of Forest Park on Monday evening, and we have the city of Jonesboro on next Monday afternoon to talk with their city council. And so we have the other commissioners. We are also doing a session, a webinar, a couple of them on January 22nd that we can encourage citizen participation in. But one of the things that we're most proud about this project is our inclusion of the county's high school students. And so what this grant gives us is the ability to actually pay our high school students to go out and become our data gathering team. And so what does this mean? And so in light of COVID, we've kind of had to scale it back a bit as to the activities. But the idea is that the students will be using technology to review the data. So we're going to take the data that we have, which is pretty extensive at this point, and doing the quality analysis and quality assurance of that data. And so the students will be reviewing the data. And then once it's deemed a little safer, the students will actually be out in the field. They'll be walking around with a data gathering tool, which is a fancy way of saying it's a wheelchair with a tablet attached to it. And we will be taking video of the sidewalks. It will also be taking the characteristics of the sidewalks. And so when we put all this information together, it's not just taking into account the sidewalk condition, but it's the width of the sidewalk. So I think the county was doing a 2 or 3 feet sidewalk width, whereas now the people like to go with like a 6 foot wide sidewalk. And so it just makes it easier for families to walk on. And so there's just a lot of different enhancements that we can make to our sidewalk infrastructure. And so in January, we will begin the onboarding process of these students, and February to actually start the work in earnest. And it will go through the summer. And so along with the students from the high schools, we will also have undergraduate and graduate students from both Georgia Tech, and we're hoping to bring in some from Clayton State as well. We've had conversations with them, and so we're trying to involve as many people as we can in the community. So another way, and actually, so this is what kind of gets back to you guys, is that you can download the county's Click Clayton app through the Apple iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. And what you can do, we've added a category called Smart Pedestrian Project. And what you can do is you can take your phone and you can go out and you can take pictures of where you want a sidewalk, where you have a sidewalk with issues, where areas that can be enhanced. And what it does is it allows us to get the GPS coordinates of that place and add it. And so the data that we have, it will be real, and it will be real effective for this project. And so that's all through the Clayton app. It's available now. You can start at any point in time, and we get notifications when that is submitted for us to go in and download that data. And then, like I said earlier, we'll be doing community workshops that will probably be mostly in Zoom, but if the opportunity presents itself to be done in person, we know that that's a really good way to best involve the community. Sorry, lost my train of thought there for a minute. So, generally, the county has recently, I would say in the last couple of years, they did a comprehensive transportation plan. There was a little piece of that was dedicated to sidewalk. And so basically what we're doing is we're taking that information and we're going to amp it up to a full-blown smart pedestrian plan. So this project with Georgia Tech is only a year long. And for now, we're only going to identify 4 or 5 main corridors of sidewalks just to get kind of everything going. But then once this project and our partnership with Georgia Tech is over, the county is intending on to continue to gather the information to build out this sidewalk network, this system that we have. And so our thoughts are that the primary focus will be around schools, transit stops, shopping areas, and public buildings, whether it's parks or buildings itself. And so, Nicole, did you want to speak to any of what the school said yesterday?
No, I think we covered it, and we can move forward with the rest of it.
Okay. All right. So with this being a Georgia Tech project, of course, we had to have something super academic in it in our proposal. And so we developed a logic model. So basically, we're looking to prioritize the smart and equitable development of the sidewalks. And so I think historically the county has, put sidewalks where either we got the most, kind of outrage or comments about, or it was just the easiest to put it in. And so what we're looking to do is actually formalize that decision with data. And so use data to justify where we're putting the sidewalks. And so we're using, obviously, this Smart Communities project, our stakeholder engagement, and our community and collaborating with the community to get the information in. And so we have a lot of outputs from this. But one of the things that we're also going to be putting together, and we actually have a meeting on Wednesday, we're going to be doing a short survey that we will send out to you all and to everyone that we can get their email address, just basically asking for the thoughts from the community on this project. Our short-term goals, obviously equitable and efficient decision-making, community consensus, community awareness, and better community collaborations. And then it goes into kind of the medium and the long term, which is the promotion of health and wellness throughout the community. And so we believe that if we get this network out there, I mean, this is a long-term, ultimately the development of the smart pedestrian plan will take us a couple of years, depending on the gathering of the information. It will be something that the county will continue to build upon. And so with that, I will say, if you guys have any questions, and the slide after this will have our contact information on it, and Commissioner, we can send this to you and Denise, and you guys can send it out or post it or however you like to get it. But so if you would like any additional information, or you have questions, or you're interested in working with us, you can reach out to myself, to Nicole Horn, or to Keith Rowling.
Great.
Is it all right to ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know, who did you say, you all said you all had some representation from the school district. I know you've mentioned students, and I'm really glad to hear the students, but who at the school district was involved with this?
We met with Dr. Simpson and Dr. Lee and her team yesterday. So
Mhm.
it was a CTAE coordinator, someone else from curriculum instruction yesterday. It was about 4 people on the call. I can
Okay.
give you their names.
All right, because it sounds like those are instructionally, those are good people, but those people don't have anything to do with the buildings. I'm thinking of someone like maybe somebody in construction, I think would be good from the school district, because I'm thinking like right now I drive through, which is a part of District 4, and the way that I drive to work every morning is coming down Valley Hill. I've actually made Dr. Beasley and in our transportation, actually our transportation person might be even a better person as well. I've made them to increase our bus stops because you all are doing some construction. Maybe it's not you, it might be the Clayton County Water Authority, but there are absolutely no sidewalks going from, if you start at Terra Boulevard and go all the way to I guess it would be Upper Riverdale Road, whatever, Valley Hill, there's not a sidewalk to be found. And we have students that have to walk because of the way that the law states that we only transport students, like elementary students, if they live a mile away, they get transported. And if middle school students are a mile and a half, and I've actually made them put to increase our bus transportation for students that are there, because because I would see kids walking and there are no sidewalks. And even one of our schools, such as Riverdale Elementary School, when we opened that school, I told them we couldn't have any walkers at all because that's on Garden Walk, and there are not any sidewalks on Garden Walk from I guess it's Upper Riverdale Road all the way over to Highway 85. It's not safe. And I
Chairperson
just,
Green,
yes.
this is something that we definitely need to address, and that you and I and some other officials need to begin to sit down with. I think I mentioned this to you briefly. For me personally, I am a total advocate for these sidewalks in this county
Right.
community, especially where our students are involved. So let's talk offline about how
Okay.
to make this program better and which way we begin to move it forward within this.
Okay. Thank you.
This
And
is
I'm
something high on our list.
yeah, glad for the contact. I'm really glad that you all have the students. I'm really glad of the student input. But yeah, I think that that we had a lot of academians there, but sometimes the
Understand.
academians don't need to deal with the real world of not one of them people probably have walked anywhere in the past. I don't know when, but anyway,
We're gonna make
I
it
just
happen.
need some real people.
All
Thank
right.
you all so much. That's a great study and
Great.
looks great.
So let's
Just
talk. You and I will talk this week. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay.
Wrap
one
up.
thing, Commissioner Ms. Goree, just to clarify what the students will be doing, they will be hired to work with our GIS teams and with Georgia Tech researchers to help analyze and input the data. So some of the data we already have just from transportation development and IT and Clayton. So they're actually be trained on interpreting that data and help us formalize the reports. Now, the surveys and other things will come out to the community, parents, and school systems on the community engagement side, but we wanted to hire students that were interested in technology, engineering, math, those type of things to help us gather the data and analyze the data. So that's the student piece.
Oh no, I love the student piece. I'm talking about the other people that you all had on the call, those assistant superintendents and all those people that I mean, I'm just saying we would be better served by some other people that work for us other than them. But I love the student involvement because that's great hands-on experience for them, and they walk and all that type of stuff. So anyway, thank you, and I'll talk to Commissioner Davis.
And we're going to include Nicole on that as well. Well, great. We just got a question in about is it possible that we can have a shredding event? And this has come up, and we're going to figure out what we can do. We know a lot of folks, especially during this COVID, have a lot of papers, bills, and they don't have these high-powered shredders. So we're going to look into that and hopefully can begin to identify a resource and a day to begin to get that done, or a weekend to get that done. So I put that down here on the list. But now let's open this up because we are running over time. You know, I'm a 60-minute person. But let's begin open this up to our citizens and find out, what are your questions? How can we get more folks involved? And what are some of your concerns that we need to address or begin to take note of and address?
Commissioner Davis, this is.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good, Ms. Taylor. How are you?
I'm great. We're really getting Sherwood Forest going to really miss our Captain Turnipseed. We've had a great relationship and she's going to do a good job wherever she goes. And I'm looking forward to working with Captain Flynn. But I have a question for all the police officers. The biggest issue that goes around and we get so many complaints about on neighbor next door and everywhere all over the county is the gunshots that are going on all the time. They go on, particularly of course at night, but they go on in the daytime and all the time and everything too. And we're trying to figure out what's the best way to handle this and why are people doing this and who are they shooting at and what can be done about all the gunshots so we'll feel safe in our homes and in our neighborhoods.
Well, let's let Captain address this. We never know why people do things, so we can't control the why, but we can try to begin to make our citizens safe. But Captain Flynn or Chief, one of you all want to address this? Her question?
Yes, this is Captain Turnipseed. Bear with me. Sorry. So one of the issues is we need citizens on 911 when it's happening, and give us some type of area that it's coming from. Most times, by the time we get into the areas, it's already stopped, and that's where we need your help. Just like we've had discussions in reference to fireworks or anything of that nature. We need citizens' help. Obviously, I'm not saying get involved and get in the middle of anything, but if you can tell an area that it's coming from, then what we do is we respond to that area and see if we can't find the source. Unfortunately, the majority of the time, by the time we get there, that the source has already stopped and gone back in the house. But we're not getting the reports of someone being shot or things of that nature. It's, I know you're referring to the water authority property that butts up to Jester's Creek area and everything. And we try and get officers in there and patrol that area as much as possible. Unfortunately, when we're not seeing the action as it's happening.
All right. Anyone else?
I believe earlier this year, Commissioner, you and Representative Berneau and I met with several communities as it related to gunfire and fireworks, and there was an enhancement to one of our ordinances that allowed us to use it as a tool in reference to, we couldn't say gunfire specifically, but those explosive rapid noises that obviously are related to gunfire, and our officers, when they're able to engage suspects that we believe to have been firing weapons, can use that ordinance also as an enforcement agent. I also encourage citizens all the time, if you're able to use any of this technology we have, such as our phones and things like that, to actually record all noise violations and have that tangible, because as to the captain's point, most of the time when the officer arrives on scene, the gunfire or any type of noise violation has ceased. But it would be helpful if we had some tangible piece of evidence to work with and pinpoint the location and the possible perpetrator. So when those things happen, even if it's just an audible recording, it would be helpful for citizens to keep.
Great. Great. Thank you, Chief. Any other questions or concerns?
Yes, I have a question. My name is Jennifer King. I was wondering, is it possible that we can get some more lighting on Terra Road? It's extremely dark just driving through there, and it's next to the lake.
Okay. On Terra Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you send us an email on that, because then we can get that petition started send it
Yes,
to
sir.
myself or Denise or Rod. Denise, do you want to post your phone number on there for everyone as well? And we can begin to get you the petition and begin to get that started to find out what the cost and everything would be for that.
Is that a cost for the
It
citizens?
depends on where it's going. If it's in a subdivision, yes, usually.
But it's on the county property.
Well, then that's what we have to begin to look at and see. So we would get the petition and then we would assess it and see
Thank you.
how it will go forward. So if you can get that to us ASAP, we can move on it.
I will do.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is Jean-Claude Bourget.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning, Commissioner and everyone. My question is, do we know the reason why the buses are not running on Mount Zion Boulevard? I've met several people who told me that they've lost their jobs because they're not getting access to the bus. It's not running anymore. So I'm just wondering, why is it not running in that particular area?
MARTA has, and that's a great question because we've had the same type of information that has been conveyed for Jonesboro Road. One, Morrow is pulling out or is attempting to pull out of the whole MARTA agreement. That's one for that part. But on our side of town here, MARTA has gone ahead and done a study and has pulled a lot of their bus resources and their bus routes. We had a meeting with them. Well, they gave us a presentation at the last board meeting about it. So if you can give me that information, because I am trying to give them the bus routes of the one that are hopefully, or not, I'm going to say hopefully, but heavily impacting our citizens in losing jobs and being able to get around. With this COVID and decreased revenue, they're not going to have a full bus route or bus route pattern. We don't know when they will get it back in force. But I still do want to give them the information of where our folks are hurting for that. So if you could get that route number, that would be great, Jean-Claude.
I will do that, sir. Let me ask you this: can we pull half a cent from the service that we're paying them?
I don't even want to comment on that without legal.
Okay, no problem. I'll send it to you, sir.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else next?
Yes, Commissioner Freddie.
Yes.
Go ahead, Judith Taylor. I'll defer to you.
One quick thing. I noticed that on the agenda for a future board meeting, there's going to be discussion about boarding homes and group homes and subdivisions. I wondered if I could get some information about what is being proposed about that and how it would affect our neighborhoods.
You said we did speak about that somewhat at the work session this past Tuesday night. And we're beginning to change the ordinance, which is going to affect the numbers on it, which is going to indicate what a family is and how we can keep those group homes and boarding homes not in one area, folk concentrated in one area. So that's what we're trying to do, is to limit them in certain areas so that folks aren't just renting out rooms. That's one of the issues we're having, and we want to try to begin to address that.
Thank you. I would like some information because we actually have a boarding house and a group home, and they do cause a lot more traffic and a lot of course, the police department probably goes to the group home more than the whole subdivision altogether and everything too. So we just need to be real careful what we have in our neighborhoods, even though we know they're important and are needed. We just have to be real careful to look after our neighborhoods and make sure that you're correct in having so many of those types of facilities in one area.
Okay. I can get you that information, or you can go on the Clayton County website under the ordinances for the group homes, and it's there as well. But we are looking at changing that. I will look at the language that we have proposed and see if you can begin to take a look at that as well.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Yes, I got a traffic concern. The intersection of Georgia 138 and North McDonough Street in the vicinity of the school bus depot and across the street from, I believe, the Clayton County Police Operations. If drivers are headed west on Georgia 138, the traffic sign indicates that that traffic is to keep moving. However, for oncoming traffic, traffic approaching from the west and traffic approaching on North McDonald Street from the south, they will oftentimes come across those solid lines, which is in violation of the driver's code. There's got to be a way to fix that, either raising 6 to 10 inches of concrete above the road bed, getting some engineers out there to see if there's a way to reroute traffic. I've nearly been hit even by school buses in that area, and people giving me hand signals as if what I was doing was wrong. I try to avoid that area. However, all the time is not possible. Is there anything that can either be done before there's a serious accident there, or at least looked at?
We can take a look at that. I've never known that to be a problem area over there, honestly, but I can pass this on to Jeff Matarco and have him take a look at it and find out what's going on. And maybe we can begin to pull up some stats to see if we've had any accidents or what's taking place in that area. Chief, do you want to address that, or have you seen anything out there, since he's speaking about right by headquarters?
I know that that's a very active intersection and there are occasional accidents. I don't know that it relates specifically to what he's describing, so we would have to do some analysis to establish or confirm that, like you said, through T&D.
Great. All right, so I'm making a note to pass to ask Matarco. Okay. Anything else regarding that, Mr. Edenfield?
No, the only other comment I have is for all of you that are stewards of the taxpayers' dollars, just would ask that you continue to be good stewards when it comes to spending money. Make it a zero-sum game. If you're going to spend, look for ways to cut. And I can't speak for the rest of the taxpayers, but my pockets are not deep, don't even come close to being deep. When I look in the dictionary, deep in money in my pockets are nowhere to be found.
Okay, well, we'll take that in consideration. Thank you for just making that a point. Anyone else? This is our latest meeting era. Anyone else? None? Going once? Going twice? No other questions or comments? All right. All right. Well, listen, I just want to thank everybody for showing up and voicing their opinions. We do have some things we need to work on here in this county. But as you can hear from our officials that you put in place and that we put in place, this county is moving forward positively from our fire and safety, police, our education, our roads and streets, even with thinking about our sidewalks and where we're trying to go. I want to say that we're moving forward, but we can move better when we have more you involved, to where we can begin to understand what this community needs and what this community wants. Sometimes they're not the same, but we can begin to move forward in that way while being a good steward of our taxpayer dollars, like was just mentioned. So with that, I want to say thank everyone. Our next meeting will be January 9th of 2021. I want everyone to have a very happy holiday and a very safe New Year's. Thank you all and have a great weekend.